Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Keanu Esports stream. And for some reason, Overwatch is refusing to show on the stream. My name is Zeddy, and I'm joined by Maple, who's here with us on stream.
Hello everyone.
And for some reason, we're looking at a black screen. So I'm going to try to figure that out really quick, because that has never happened before. I don't like when that happens.
This must be another NA Overwatch moment.
This is an NA Overwatch moment. It's telling me. Let's try this, shall we? Let's see why that's happening.
5, 4, 3, 2.
We're gonna see if we can get this
Capture.
fixed up. We're gonna add a full display capture here. And there we go. Excellent. So we're gonna roll like this, guys. Sorry about that delay. You haven't missed much. Just Nick's getting head tapped, and Clover will find the refrag onto Petal. We're getting started here with game number 1 on Yijing Tower in the Control Center. Keanu Huskies versus University of Texas Dallas Comets. It's a great game. I'm really looking forward to this one. Maple, I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of the teams, but what are your thoughts on the Huskies roster from what you've seen of them so far this year?
From what I've seen, they've shown some impressive displays, especially on an individual level. Some of their plays can just come up with so much value, especially the ability to just get picks at the start of these fights and get the early advantage here.
Yeah, they're definitely a really good pick-making team, and I mean, as you notice just by looking at this composition, you can see there's a pretty good split of burst damage and consistency. But Clover, one of the players that we've really highlighted a lot so far on the stream, he just manages to find those kills and find those entry frags, and there he goes again with Magoo being able to pick off that support, and Zoe to lead things off here for the Huskies in this first Control Center match.
Yeah, for a pretty dominant first hold here for the side of the Huskies. Notably, they're on this sort of pokey comp here that they just have to try and push through if they want to get past, and they just keep getting these picks.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice little opening here for UTD as they are able to find the first pick, and Clover will drop the Dragon Blade. He finds one, tries to find the second in Koji, but Koji's just far too evasive, and the Zarya is just much too charged up. Clover's going to try his best to get out of there, and he is actually going to be able to stay alive. And now switching over to Coda, we'll see how the Huskies plan to retake this site now with window and beat drop readily available. It's going to be a big fight here coming up for the Huskies just as soon as they find that opening pick. The Gravity Surge drops some Discord mod, but he's going to get taken down right away immediately. The Keanu Huskies are on the point. They're going to try to fend their opponents off, but Mallard and Petal aren't ready to let it go down easy. They're going to go in for the contest there as well. Purity doing his best to keep the Huskies alive, but with third man down for the Huskies, very unlikely they're going to be able to make anything out of this play, and unfortunately Purity taken down on the walkout as well.
Yeah, huge ults going down for both sides there. They both end up expending a lot, but it ends up the Huskies just have to back away at the end, just not able to sustain there. Both sides end up using quite a bit in this fight, and they just both have that one ultimate to try this next fight with.
Yeah, you're looking at the overclock here for Nyx. and you have the Symmetra wall as well for that defensive effort on point. You know, having point control and having that Symmetra wall as well, if you can put it in a really favorable position, you can basically shut your opponents out at the door. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for the Huskies to try to retake this one now, but they have managed to delay enough time, you know, bring it up to 62%, 63% that Coda will be able to find a boot, is what that percentage will do. It gives Coda the confidence to go and solo win that interaction against Petal, and now the Huskies will try to force through that symmetric field.
Why was Petal there? How does that even happen? Either way, they're pushing onto the point now, you know, with a man advantage.
Yeah, they're gonna try to take advantage of this now as Coda getting into a scrappy ball on the side. Purity does have the window up as well. He's been able to do a good job of keeping that resource available for him, but the sleep comes through from Mallard, and that's gonna make things very difficult for the Huskies as one healer forcing onto site, trying desperately to touch and slow down that 100%. The beat drop will come out as he manages to get himself to 100. He's gonna try to force onto Mallard as well. So far though, this support line from UTD is just virtually untouched, and Magoo switching over to the Wrecking Ball. He's going to do his darndest, but he's going to get taken down as well. Purity last alive, not going to have time to touch, and UTD will take the first point on control.
Yeah, you mentioning the UTD support line there. They stayed alive, you know, past that second half of there when they had more control that entire time pretty much. They just ended up supporting, and that's what got them the win for a lot of those points, especially the ones where it was very back and forth. That backline just never quite died, and because of that, it allowed the rest of the team to just push forward and take the space away from the Huskies and get those first picks and just push them off the point.
Yeah, I mean, UTD is definitely running around with some pretty interesting comps here. I mean, we're looking at a double fly comp right now with a Doomfist. It's a little bit strange, a little bit disoriented, but I mean, you know, who am I to judge their comps when they're playing as well as they are right now? It's going to be a Doomfist double aerial control comp and Clover on the Hanzo, so it's going to be a little bit difficult as the Huskies. They have the Sojourn to try to deal with some of that aerial aggression, but you know, you might prefer, you know, opting for a more traditional hit scan in this kind of an environment.
Yeah, the key here for UTD is definitely just trying to catch the Huskies out of position. If you can get them separated while they're on this comp, you can win so many of these fights because they don't have a real counter, although we see the swap for the Soldier come in now.
Yeah, and I think it's a smart move. When you're playing into these double flyers, it's really, really challenging to try to get those opening picks. They've got so much burst, and you know, if you're able to land those rocket shots well and apply that pressure safely, it can be really, really, really difficult to break onto site into that kind of competition.
Joey getting a great pick onto the Alari there, just slowing down the progress of the Huskies. You're just gonna have to bide your time and be a bit more patient.
Yeah, you know, you're checking the ult percentage here for the side of UTD, and so far they're building 30-40% leads right now. So Piano really needs to make this next fight matter, or they're going to kind of find themselves in the back foot for the majority of this round. As UTD already building themselves to 40% here. Huskies getting flanked. They're going to have to decide, are they going to force through or deal with the flankers? They're going to be able to take down Discord Mod and Mallard as well. Petal will find a trade onto Nyx, but Piano are going to use this as their window. They're going to try to force their way in, but once that Soldier goes down, I just don't think you have the firepower to do it. Magoo will find Doyi, but it's a 2v1 on site into the tack visor, but they're going to be able to get really, really close. Their Casher is going to take down Purity. Magoo now trapped 1v4. He's going to try his best, but he's going to get trickled out as well, and Piano really struggling to get established on the control point.
Yeah, you know, you saw they took out the Doomfist earlier on, but it wasn't quite enough because essentially UTD just took flank angles on them. They just surrounded them. So even though they were trying to get the point, they were being peppered and damaged the whole way through. And it really does not look like they've come up with too much of an answer for this.
Yeah, Clover is now switched over to his third hero of the map. He's now on the Ashe, and he is going to get dove on in the backline there by Doomfist, but that is going to stagger out UTD's fight lines a little bit. I just don't think it matters enough right now that the ammo drops from Purity to be able to stop that Doomfist ultimate, and that is going to keep the Huskies alive for just a tad longer, but Petal finds a double bomb as well. Magoo going to get taken very, very low here in the 1v4, and 99% for UTD. Clover trying to do Tracer things to keep the point alive, but there's only so much dashing and blinking you can do. That's going to be UTD taking a very convincing 2-0 lead here on Yijang.
Yeah, start of this map looked a little closer, but then UTD just switched something up and sailed away with it. Really convincing stuff near the end. The name of the game there is just splitting up the team and capitalizing, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, it's a tough game for sure. I mean, this first map, I think the composition was definitely a little interesting, and it made it difficult for the Huskies to try to adapt. It didn't really seem like they were super comfortable playing into that composition. But then when you talk about things like, you know, that flank support angle, and then you move over to that double fly comp where, again, not something super traditional, not something you maybe see a ton of. I think there was just too much hesitation in adapting. Like, I think as soon as you see that fly comp and that first fight goes poorly, you immediately commit to the soldier ash and say, how are we going to regain and recover from this? It took them too long to get set up, and even when they found that window after picking off Discord mod, they just weren't able to get anything out of it because they'd already given their opponents too much space and too much ult charge for it to matter. So hesitation really will cost them there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The swap's a little bit too late there. I don't know. Do you think they're gonna be able to bounce back? They just need to make some good adjustments here.
Yeah, I think I really like seeing the Huskies on hybrid. I think they're a lot more confident on a map that typically has not only more traditional composition styles, but also it's a little bit more linear in how you play it. You know, when there's a clear role between attack defense, whereas control, you're kind of simultaneously swapping between a bunch of different objectives and mini objectives, and I think it just creates a lot of confusion in teams, especially once you start to get trickled and staggered. It's like, how do we regroup and reevaluate this? I think a map type like hybrid is going to be a little bit better for that. I'm hoping. So we'll see how the team adjusts going into map number 2, and it looks like the pick will be Kings Row for map 2. We're just going to wait for the players to get the lobby set up, so we'll cut to a quick little break while we wait for the players to get ready for their game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with some more NACE Overwatch in just a few seconds. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Keanu Esports stream. My name is Eddie and I'm joined by Maple here on tonight's cast as we watch the Keanu Huskies face off against the University of Texas Dallas Comets in tonight's NACE Star League Varsity Premier Overwatch match. We are on Kings Row after a 1-0 lead goes the way of UTD, and Keanu gonna try to restabilize themselves in this series here on a fan favorite map. This has got to be my favorite map in the game. I don't know how you feel about it, Maple, but I've always loved Kings Row.
I mean, you gotta love Kings Row. I mean, is there a person, in the game that this isn't your favorite map of? And if that is you, you're an oddity, because this has always been a fan favorite map, and I think will always stay a fan favorite map.
It's just so nice to look at. I don't really know what else to say about it. It's just really pretty and comforting. I do like to jokingly call it King's Throw on that first point, because I feel like it's that kind of point where, you know, you get picked off once, and especially as a defender side, you get taken down and your game is done. Like there's really no coming back from that. You got the walk of shame from the very deep spawn to get back to that point and get reestablished. So it's why you see a lot of teams go for this Widow pick here. You know, it looks like we're gonna have a little Widow duel to start things off here on the map.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. You know, this map used to very much favor brawl comps, but nowadays it really tends to be more favorable to more poke comps or fast-paced, almost dive-like comps. See Widow deal starting out here. Ooh, misses the shot.
Yeah, you know, he's got to try for it, and it actually is going to be the double sniper lineup from Piano. This is a comp that they've run a couple times. You know, Clover has a pretty staple Hanzo as one of his mains for sure. And Nyx, you know, he's got great aim. He's able to find his picks when he needs to. The Widow is definitely. Okay, hold on. We'll get back to that later. That's a beautiful shot from Clover. That's going to open up a ton of space for the Huskies. There's one healer already down on the side of UTD.
That's a big pick from Clover. The question here is if they can capitalize it, but Petal's popping off.
Yeah, he saw Clover. He said, "I'll do you one better. I'll take two myself." And
oh my God, taking out Magoo.
Yeah, yeah. Petal is.
Just shut this guy down.
Petal decided he didn't like getting shown up, and decided that he was going to show up, and show up in a big way, finding a number of kills for himself here on this map. Seeing some weird things happening. It looks like players are, yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like some players were just running into walls for a minute there. This definitely looks a little strange.
Oh no, it's another NA. It's an NA game.
An NA stream moment. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I knew the Huskies, you know, they were getting headshot, but they were making it a little too easy when they just started drift walking into walls. I didn't really see the strategic implications of that, so I had a feeling something was up. Yeah, I'm chatting with the players right now in the lobby just to let them know what's going on. Ours is super laggy too. Yeah, that just looked really strange.
Is that, or maybe Petal's casting some sort of voodoo magic to force them into walls or something?
Yeah, I don't know. That was really bizarre. I'm actually broadcasting off-site today. You know, sometimes I cast the keynote, and even, you know, I'm seeing these ping lag spike issues as well. So I'm not really sure what that's all about.
I believe I made some changes in the game before, so that might have something to do with it, but I mean, you never know.
Yeah,
it is a Blizzard product after all.
This is one of the funny things about collegiate esports is you can't really lag in basketball, and it's an interesting little challenge that we get to deal with here in collegiate esports. We're back to the game now, and it looks like the players are going to resume here, so we're not actually going to cut to a break. They seem to be are. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully there's been an improvement. We'll get right back into it as the game is going to get on pause here. And it appears, I'm not quite sure about it, but it appears that the protocol for NACE is going to be, there are opportunities to tech pause, but because the map is already underway, that they're not actually going to do a map remake for this. So they are going to continue playing from this position, which means, not to say it's a major thing, but it is important to note that UTD will be able to keep the additional ult charge and positioning that they were able to gain during that disconnect. So the Huskies are not only fighting against a strong team, they're fighting against a strong team that just got a little bit of a handicap. So hopefully, you know, through all of that, they can still find some space for themselves.
You know, just this sort of poking here, looking for picks, just circling around. You know, these two comps play pretty slowly. The Orisa has the ability to take the space, but, you know, unsupported by your team, it's a little bit slower.
Yeah, the high noon from Kashir comes out, and, you know, they tried to combo it with the Life Weaver. That's actually a kind of funny comp, because you can just throw him, boost him really high up, and find him a high noon angle that maybe he wouldn't otherwise have had. Discord Mod is going to be able to find a pick on the Dakota Magoo, diving into the backline with the ultimate. He's going to be able to look for one with the Life Weaver pull to save in the last second. The Petal save. Oh, Magoo, you tried so hard, but there's only so much you can do in those moments, and UTD holding a very strong defensive so far. With only a minute remaining, the Huskies really need to find a way onto the site.
Yeah, Huskies getting Cashier at the end of that, but they need to make something happen here. We're down to the final minute.
That decision ultimately coming out from Discord mod, and Purity is going to get taken down from that. This Coda is going to dive in here, has the ultimate available, but there's no teammates on site left to fight with him. NACE is going to try to find a pick here, still on the Widowmaker as they look for the Cassidy, but the rollout, the awareness from Kashir to roll through that corner and dodge the Widow. That's some really great game sense from him. And now Keanu, this is really their last fight. This is their last chance to make it happen. And the Widow in the air, the spear. Oh,
what a spear!
Magoo just flexing. He's gonna check that one out and see what he can stick. Now Keanu, they have the Alari ultimate available. They've got to make it need something here. That Immo shield already going down. Kashir in a very aggressive position. Magoo's just gonna run him down, run him back home.
Yeah. Out comes the Alari ult from Coda. It doesn't look too much is going to be gained from that, pushing up the space here, but Kashir manages to take out Coda.
Yeah, Magoo just trying to touch. 2 seconds remaining. The Huskies just need to get a foot on point.
They need a touch. Oh!
But they're getting zoned off. They can't even get the tap there. And that means for the next 4 minutes, Keanu needs to... I don't even know how this works. They can't touch the point at all, can they?
They need to... Yeah, well, they can't get one tick. They have to save it from one tick. They have to fuller hold them.
Oh my god. All right. Well, tell your guests to go home. You're locking the doors. You're throwing away the key. That's really the only options you have here. Is you got to find some sort of bulwark strategy where you just establish yourself right at the door. And don't let anybody pass through. Don't let anybody go in. It's probably going to be something a little bit cheesy. Probably some shields. I don't know. Maybe a Bastion. Maybe a Torb. I don't think you can get away with just the classic sniper comp. But they are going to try to run triple sniper here. Is what it looks like. We can see Keanu rushing to the point, so they are going to go for the triple sniper. Now, I know what I just said. They like what they like, and I think you just have to play what you're comfortable with in these kind of moments. There's really only so much you can do.
Yeah, at this point, they're going to need a monumental sort of pop-off from a lot of these players here, and I'm going to assume that they're on roles that they're mostly comfortable with, right? So we're just going to have to see them do a monumental shift and just get that over and hold them, but it's going to be a very uphill battle.
Yeah, but look at this dive comp here from UTD. I mean, they've got Tracer, Sombra with Winston. It's like, how do you feel safe as a triple sniper comp into this? They kind of read the situation perfectly. Petal already finding that opening pick onto Clover. I mean, this is going to be very, very tricky for the Huskies. They have to fully defend against UTD here, and Discord mod already very deep in the back line. The hack comes down onto Magoo. He's getting shredded, and as soon as Magoo drops, that's going to spell doom for the Huskies. There's just no way they can keep this alive without that tank. They're going to do what they can just to get those, pad their stats, see if they can find some extra kills, as I think Clover was going to be able to touch there for a second, but UTD absolutely rolled that attack.
Wow, that was dominant. That was very, very dominant. They ran that dive comp at the end and pretty much played it as good as you can. You force them to drop off that high ground and you just go on them.
Yeah, they had a very good understanding of how this sniper comp was going to establish itself and to set up its defense, and they kind of just broke it down within seconds. They knew where those characters needed to go and how they needed to utilize their heroes to get the result that they wanted in that environment. And I mean, after that, the way that defensive half went for the Huskies, or the offensive half, I should say, for the Huskies went, it's just really difficult to restabilize. Keanu now going into map number 3, down 0-2. So this is going to be a comeback story for the Huskies. If they're able to make a showing here tonight, they're going to have to pull off the miracle reverse sweep to keep the dream alive for today.
Yep, a reverse sweep is needed. Whether or not they can deliver, well, that's a never question entirely.
Yeah, I think this team has shown a lot of promise over the course of the season. Overwatch, in my opinion, tends to be one of those games where, you know, those comeback stories don't happen very often. I don't know if anybody tuned into the OWL Grand Finals just this past weekend, but 3-0 third place and 4-0 grands. I mean, that's it's pretty telling of, I think, how the game typically tends to play out. Now, you know, not to be a naysayer, I always have hope in my team, and, you know, have high ambitions for them and what they can accomplish, and you know, I'm always looking forward to being proven wrong, you know, but when somebody's capable of doing so, but they've got a tall task ahead of them. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, a tall task, a monument to climb. They're gonna have to pull out all the stops if they want to push this forward. You know, they have been showing some promise at some points here, and we've seen them before have success beating lots of teams. They're just gonna have to pull out some of that same energy and just turn this around, build up some momentum, and carry them if they want to have a chance in continuing the series.
You know, from what you've seen of the Huskies so far in this match and what you've seen of UTD, is there any like key change or key shift that you feel they need to make to really give themselves a fighting chance in this next map? Like, what are you looking for as a coach, as an analyst, to ensure that, you know, they're playing this one appropriately?
Definitely making sure that they're taking care and they're shutting down Pedal and Discord mod. Those two have been getting a lot of space and a lot of free area to do their thing, and it's causing everyone to go and sort of panic, scatter, and not quite know what to do. But if they can shut them down, just prevent them from moving forward, prevent them from getting space if they're on that poke comp like they've been running, I think it will be a lot better in terms of evening up the fight there.
Yeah, not to diverge away from, you know, your thoughts there. I definitely appreciate your feedback, but I did just want to provide a quick little update for the audience as to why they're staring at another caster's desk screen here. The new Overwatch 2 game obviously has a number of different features with it, including you know, a fairly advanced role queue that enforces a 1-tank limit. Now, in competitive play, typically lobby codes are provided to players for them to create their lobbies with, but this lobby code seems to be have been created in error because it's allowing the players to choose as many heroes and as many different roles as they would like, and that creates a lot of complications in game for what the players might be prepared for and anticipating. So they do have to remake the lobby under a new rule set, which is why we've gone back to this little to the screen here. They are setting it up right now, and we should be back into game momentarily. So hopefully they won't have to plan not just for a tough opponent, but also a tough opponent with some wild and wacky tricks up their sleeve. We're just going to be going back to some default 1-2-2 role queue setup for this map number 3.
Yep. So we're moving on to this map number 3 on New Junk City. This map is a wild card in a lot of maps. A lot of teams love the Orisa comp. A lot of teams love the Junker Queen. It's been a little bit divisive.
Yeah, I was going to say, from what I've seen of the Huskies, I think it's mostly been the Junker Queen, and that's exactly what we're looking at here, as Magoo locks that in already. They are going to be going with the Lucio, the Genji. This is a pretty standard comp for them on this map. The one thing they will do, of course, is have that Symmetra player start things off and then switch. They have opted to put Clover on Symmetra duty for this map here. They're probably going to switch off to the Genji as soon as they drop that teleporter for the rest of their team, just to give them a little head start to the point. But you know, it looks like UTD not going to do the same for themselves. So this might actually give the Huskies a little positional advantage that they need to be successful here in this match.
UTD is on the Ramatra. I don't know how I feel about this. Ramatra as a character can be just super run down. He can be really pressured out compared to other characters like Reinhardt or Orisa. And it's just not been a very popular pick, but we're going to have to see how they want to play it here.
Yeah, the Huskies are going to play for this high ground defensive, and they're going to try to fight into Mashir directly. And as that slow zone comes out from Mashir, they actually, Kashir I should say, they are actually going to be able to get themselves onto the point. But it looks like, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like Kashir and Discord mod have actually swapped roles for this map here.
You're right. Kashira's went over to that tank role, and Disco Armadas went to DPS. Well, it doesn't seem to matter. They went through.
Yeah, the Huskies are going to try to get some last little kills there, but already a team kill for the side of UTD as the Comets clean up the Huskies. They are going to go for a very aggressive defense as well, pushing straight out of the doorway here. Huskies really need to find themselves an open and pick, but take a look at Discord Mod here. Look at his positioning. He's on full flank, but Nyx has the read and almost finds the kill as Discord Mod running away from his
get away. He doesn't get away.
And Nyx is actually going to be able to pick him up. That's a great first pick for the Huskies, and they're going to force their opponents straight back here. They're going to do whatever they can to try to get this pick onto Kashir, but Doi is going to find Nyx, and taking down that DPS is going to severely damage the Huskies' ability to get these cleanup picks here, as Magoo will be the next to fall as well.
Yeah, UTD, they see the Huskies get that pick advantage and start to try and push in, but they just back away. They allow them in and then just do so much damage. You know, they end up killing off Nyx and just even the fight, push forward, and just take them all out.
Yeah, this Flashpoint map, for those of you that are new to Overwatch 2, or at least new to Flashpoint, basically think about it as control, but it doesn't stop controlling. You finish with 1 point, you move on to the next one. There's no break, there's no timeout, there's no reset, none of that. You just go straight from one to the other, and it's a first to 3 best of 5 on this map type as well. So UTD, they've taken the first point, as you can see there at the top left of your screen, indicated by that little marker. But now the Huskies are going to try to do their best to claim the second point as soon as it spawns here. In about 5 seconds, Piano is going to do everything they can to get themselves set up and claim a point for themselves. Already the Ilaria ultimate coming out from the side of UTD. Magoo is going to do his best to fight in. I believe the Ramatra ultimate got committed as well. He's going to try to get some damage down, but you know, both tanks just absorbing and dealing an insane amount of damage, and Ramatra will come out ahead. Crazy fight from UTD here.
Hey.
Yeah, that was a whole ultimate splurge. There's so many ultimates, it's hard to see, but that Ramatra ultimate just so impactful in those longer fights where you have to sustain. If you can't deal with him quickly, he becomes a problem really quickly. You know, even if you use your beat to sustain, it's just going to power through all that health.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but that Ram ulti, I'm pretty sure, just keeps refreshing as long as you continue dealing damage. So those close corners combat situations, very, very great favor for UTD. But the Huskies are actually going to be able to find themselves a little bit of an opening here as 2 big picks come out for Clover. He's on fire right now, and that's going to create some big space for Piano as they are able to get 1 or 2 early picks here in this fight.
Yeah, that was a pretty sudden and fast fight take there. They just take it, they push it through, and now they're gaining point. This is actually a pretty good position. They still have that, they still have 1 ultimate against UTC, but they're gonna have to use it well as they're pushing in.
Yeah, Piano getting forced off the point here, as well as the blade gets committed, as well as the window from Petal. It looks like Nyx is going to try to get out of dodge. He has the overclock available for this next fight. He just wants to make sure he doesn't get trickled out, but the chase comes out from Mallard, and he's going to accept his fate.
Yep, just the reset. Need to get set back up for another fight here. They are going to have another chance to retake this most likely, but it's gonna be hard. They do have ults coming up. They're just gonna have to make sure they sustain and hold on. Magoo's gonna have to make a good job. He doesn't die, but that's really bad for this next fight.
Yeah,
but
I think Magoo just really wanted to try to make a hero play. He knew that the percentage was getting pretty high. He was gonna try to jump in, assassinate the support, and use that to give the Huskies a little bit more space on this next fight, but couldn't find the kill and got traded. And Mallard actually just gonna full commit to the run up and melee on Purity. That's a little disrespectful. I think just a little bit.
that's a bit that's a bit mean. That's a little uncalled for, guys. Come on.
Well, in any case, I mean, when you're playing this well and you're this far ahead, at some point you just gotta start messing around and trying out some new things. But Piano, you know, they showed on that last point that they do have the ability to fight back. You know, they're not completely out of it. It's just finding that and making it a little bit more consistent is really going to be the challenge here. But they do have a number of ultimates available here with the overclock, the beat drop coming up. There is going to be the Spirit Rush as well available for Kiriko here. So forcing onto this point, they are going to be able to try, and that's the Kitsune Rush coming out of Kiriko, Magoo, very close to the minefield as well. He's going to try to roll in and get that extra little percentage. He is going to be able to take down Discord Mod, but oh my god, it's a Husky massacre. It's all 4 players in the backline for the Huskies are taken down. I don't even know what got committed there. I think it was Alari and... Actually, it was all 3. It was Tackvisor, Alari ult, and Brahmatra as well for UTD.
Yeah.
That was explosive in the comments.
Yeah, I think they just committed 2 ults there, and then Ramatra ran in there and just finished them off with the rest of his ultimate. Oh, another pick, just elongating this this sort of stagger here.
Yeah, well, that one actually coming from Keanu onto the side of UTD. That's going to be able to give him some space. And Nyx committing the overclock is going to find a second one onto Doji. So no supports available on this fight for the side of UTD. Actually, that is going to be Petal in the background trying to keep the team alive with the window. But the ball drop goes in as Magoo dives his way in there. Has the minefield available. And Keanu, I think, will be able to force their opponents off the site here.
They need to. This is the last fight. You can't be afraid to invest if need be, but you really need to save these ultimates. You need to save them, have a chance. But Petal, he's still alive? He's still killing. How is this possible? He puts up his lamp. They get another kill. We're coming back into this.
Yeah, Magoo forced the reload there. He nearly had the kill. He's going to dive through and drop the mines, but Piano now, they're in a trickle situation, a permanent trickle, and they have to touch. They don't have time to get off the point. Magoo or Clover trying to pre-read where that lamp was going to go and take it down, but he just can't find it. UTD going to storm through this game and walk away with a quick and easy 3-0.
Yeah, that was dominant. There's no other way to say it. That was pretty dominant, pretty one-sided. There was a few moments, a few characters on the Huskies that definitely stood up there, but for the most part, we've got to look at people like Petal here, who just popped off. He switched characters mid through that, and still managed to almost like outfrag everyone and just get consistent first picks.
Yeah, I mean, really good game from UTD. We went into this match knowing that they were going to be a very tough team. I don't actually have the power rankings in front of me, but I remember hearing, you know, that they are a well-recognized or well-respected program within collegiate Overwatch. You know, this is our first year at the Huskies for supporting an Overwatch team and being able to see, you know, what the depth of talent looks like in the space. You know, we've definitely faced off against some tough opponents and are learning day by day, you know, what it takes to get to that next level for competitive Overwatch. So, you know, time will tell how this team, you know, comes from these experiences and uses them to shape and develop themselves over the course of the season. But right now, you know, some of these tough teams, they don't look to be getting any easier, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like usually the best way to look at it is as learning opportunities, so much as, you know, what happened there, what went wrong, what can we learn, and how can we improve to make sure that it doesn't happen again. This UTD team, I'm pretty sure I recognize them. They're a pretty one of the more well-known teams in the collegiate scene. So, you know, it was a tough battle, but hopefully the Huskies can learn from this and improve in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Maple, I do want to thank you for joining me on the stream today in the last minute. I appreciate you coming on and joining me for tonight's match against the Comets. My name, again, is Shadi Zeddy Hanna, head coach of the KNL Esports program. And I've really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to host tonight's match for you. Thank you, everybody, for joining and tuning into the stream tonight. We'll see you all this Saturday, or this Thursday. Nope, that's a lie. We got rescheduled our game. No other Overwatch matches on stream this week, but we'll be back on stream next Tuesday for more NACE Overwatch against Oklahoma Christian University. We'll see you all then.